Okay, I just want everybody to know that I apologize for the being late, but I see that you guys have already starting. I am waiting for my two co-presenters to join in. In the meantime, I just wanted to say hello, and hopefully Minette and Shelli will join very soon. I can see that Minette is, let's see. No, okay, so I'm gonna go back and be the one presenting. And I apologize, but we'll be there in a few minutes. Just let's see what else we can create with the technology here. Okay, so I want to tell everybody that you should be able to post questions. Oh, I hear somebody. Minette, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Let's get better than that.
Okay, Shelli is probably going to join very soon. So I did start the broadcast, so we are live, just to let you know.
Hello.
Yeah, so this is really, this is new for us, so welcome everyone. I am Sophie, and I am a certified facilitator of Access Consciousness, and we have with us Minette. Do you want to say hello, Minette?
Hello, I'm Minette, and I'm a certified Access Bars facilitator, practitioner, and body process facilitator.
Woohoo! And Shelli is going to join us very soon. She is a fantastic person, and I love to have her energy as well. So if you guys have questions, I believe you can ask questions. And if you guys cannot ask questions, go ahead and let me know by sending me a Facebook message so I can fix that. Hopefully it will come soon. Okay. So today we are talking about 5 things to choose to create beyond this reality. And I wanted to say why I chose this topic. So Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, the founders of Access Consciousness, have recently rewritten the Foundation Level 1 manual. So just for those who don't know, when you start doing Access Consciousness classes, you start with the bars, and then you go on and do Access Foundation Level 1. Usually, the material that's delivered in Foundation Level 1 is pretty mind-blowing, but it is still kind of relating to this reality. It's usually in function of this reality of what we have created and chosen. And let me tell you that I just listened to the rewrite of this class, and it is so beyond what, like, even it's beyond some of the material that's delivered in the advanced level of 2 and 3. So I know that this class is going to kick ass. Like, the material is now available as soon as Foundation Level 1 is beyond anything that, and I've been delivering those classes for 3 years now, and it's beyond anything that I've seen in Foundation Level 1. So I thought, hey, why not start a conversation about if we could create anything beyond this reality, what would it be? And in order to help you guys start looking at that, I thought I would give you some of my favorite tools.
How's getting better than that?
So Minette, let's see, is Shelli joining or not? Let's just see. Okay. Let me just make sure Shelli is joining us. Okay. So Minette, what is your favorite tool of Access Consciousness?
I'd have to say that my favorite tool that really blew my mind is, who does this belong to? I mean,
Yes.
talk about blowing my reality completely, you know, into another reality that,
Yes.
you know, we walk around as these energetic beings, you know, all this time, and our bodies pick up everything. They're so much more aware and conscious than we are, that we give them credit for half the time. So when I would pick up these energies and have the tool to ask, who does this belong to, you know, and realize that it wasn't mine, some of what I was carrying around, whether it was a mood or an ache or a pain. I mean, who would have thought in this reality you can get a headache and think, is this mine? No, return to sender with love and consciousness, and not
Yes.
solidify that. That was phenomenal for me.
Yes. So this is already something that I feel we used to function beyond this reality. So this reality says we think something, and it's our thought, it's our in our head, and we interact with people, and we may know how people are feeling, but most likely we'll talk to people to figure out what's going on with them. That's it. That's pretty much the extent of what this reality says, right? Or
Yeah.
people like volunteer information. Okay. Well, what if actually communication and knowing and awareness was beyond all of that? What if we were like this huge psychic antenna and we picked up every thought, feeling, emotion from everybody else and everything else around us? When I say everything else, is the earth, right? Uh,
Yes.
the cars, I mean, everything around us has an energy. So we pick up that energy and we interpret it as ours because, well, we've not been trained to know what is ours and what is not ours. So we just think that we go around the world and we hear, I'm tired, or I'm hungry, or I'm good, I'm bad, all of that, I'm horny. And we hear all of that and we think it's ours when actually it isn't. Actually, 99% of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions are not ours. We just pick them up from everybody else around us. So it is already a great tool to function outside of this reality because now we don't have to make any ache, any feeling bad, any thinking that we suck. We don't have to make any of that real. It's not ours. We could just say, oh, well, that was interesting. Send it back to sender. And if you pick up on a thought that you enjoy, like, wow, it's a beautiful day today. If you want to keep it, keep it. It may not be yours either, but if you like to keep it, why not, right?
Yes, with that awareness and that tool, you have a choice.
You have a choice. You have a choice. Okay. So um, so that's definitely one of the greatest tools that I've learned at the right at the beginning of Access Consciousness is 99% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are not yours. Okay. And the 1% that is yours is the things that you truly have, you have created an original thought. But otherwise, you've just been recycling everything else that everybody has ever thought for thousands and thousands of years. Okay. So that's one of the tools. Do you have any other favorite tool?
For me too, that everything's an interesting point of view. That really helped shape my reality. That instead of resisting and reacting, you know, and letting other people control my energy or my reality, to have that awareness to just say, interesting point of view.
Yes.
In
So
this reality, we're taught to resist and react.
we are. Okay. So that's one of the 5 that I actually wanted to give you. I had not even thought about who does this belong to. So that's the next one, bonus one. But one of the tools that I wanted to give everybody, it's called allowance. Okay. So I've been taught since a little kid to have tolerance for people, to be tolerant, um, to accept other people, to accept other people's differences. Okay, so if you all look at that for a second, if you look at tolerance and acceptance, there's an energy in there that's kind of funky, right? Because you're acknowledging something that you don't like or that you don't agree with, but you're gonna be okay with it anyway. So I don't know about you, but that's not who I am in the world. I'm not somebody who's gonna be like, well, they're bad, but that's okay. I'll deal with it. I'll manage. Like, it just doesn't work for me. So this is another tool that is really beyond what this really tells us. It's called allowance. So basically, wow, I have allowance for people who choose violence. I have allowance for people who choose to make their bodies wrong. I have allowance for people who choose to say that gay people should not be married, etc., etc. So allowance is, well, that's an interesting point of view, like Minette just said. And you know what? Never ever tell somebody it's an interesting point of view to their face, please, because you're gonna piss them off. Just take it for yourself. But
It's a choice.
say that again.
I said it's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice.
You
Exactly.
don't want to. Yeah.
Well, it's great that you gave the who does this belong to, because the truth is, when you walk around and you're like, wow, this is interesting point of view, people are actually going to pick up on that too. So if you're being the interesting point of view, everybody else around you is going to be like, wow, that's an interesting point of view. You know, they'll pick it up from you,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
so allowance, it allows, for me, it allows all this funkiness to kind of go away. So for instance, allowance for your bank account. I mean, you know, how many people look at their bank account and right away they're like in judgment of it, either, oh my gosh, there's not enough, or wow, this is amazing and great. Okay, all of that is a judgment, and it does not allow for anything else to show up. So what if you had allowance for your bank account?
Yes.
um,
And you have no limits of what can show up.
Exactly, exactly. You know, I have met this woman who was playing with the tools of access, and she said to her accountant, she said, in 30 days, there's going to be $50,000 more in my bank account. And her accountant was like, well, that's very nice, but how are you going to make that happen? She said, don't you worry about it. It's going to take place. Okay. You know, and she went on with her life, and it's just, she went on, she didn't do anything different, but she kept being the energy of, there's going to be an extra $50,000 in my bank account. She be that energy the whole time. Well, so about a week before the 30 days were over, she got a phone call from her accountant saying that there was a $50,000 check that was coming from an investment that was being sold. So she said, great, can you make it happen so it's within the 30 days I told you about? And the accountant was like, it doesn't occur that fast. It doesn't take place that fast. It takes a few weeks for this to occur, but it's coming. She said, no, that's not good enough. It has to be within the next week. So she was interesting point of view with the accountant. Now, she didn't tell the accountant an interesting point of view, but she was like, well, you know what? That's an interesting point of view, that the person who does this for a living and who's had a lot of experience with money think it's going to take more than 7 days. That's an interesting point of view. Okay? By being that, guess what? The money did come in the 7 days, right? So I love the allowance that she had for other people experience and education and authority. So this is the thing. And in this reality, we have authorities, right? We have people like doctors and lawyers and, you know, the police and all of that. What did you say?
I said they know. We know. Instead of allowing us to know what we know.
Yeah, they know. They're supposed to know better than us. My favorite is my dad was a big my dad used to watch the news, like his Bible, like the news were his Bible. He had to watch the news, right? And he gave so much credit to the news. Okay, well, what if that was an interesting point of view? What if the news were an interesting point of view? In fact, they're, if you check it out, they're usually a very interesting point of view. I was listening to, and I hope, okay, this may trigger some interesting points of view, what I'm about to say. So some of you may have seen there's a speech, a commencement speech that the First Lady, Michelle Obama, recently did, and I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the name of the school, so I will not even attempt it. But she talked about the prejudice that she was faced with when she first came into the office as the first lady. And she told she in the speech she talks about how they thought they characterized her as probably too loud, obnoxious, and shooting everybody, all kind of stuff. And it was kind of made as a joke, but it was what was projected at her. And she goes and talks about how that's racism, and what if we had more tolerance for everyone, all of that. And I was looking at this because for me, I feel that could have been projected at anybody. The fact that she was African American, I mean, some people are going to call me naive, but what if it had nothing to do with that? What if it was just because people love to judge people, period? That's just one of their pastime. And whether you're white, black, yellow, green, purple, they won't care. They'll judge you anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that's a perfect place to be in alliance of all of it, because regardless of what people judge you, it's never true, right? I mean, Minette, I'm sure that doing what you do, you probably have received a lot of judgment, haven't you?
Yeah, you get that when you start using the tools. There can be judgment or resistance, and I don't know. It's wonderful when you have that space of allowance. It gives you so much space to choose what you choose and not react.
Exactly.
And look at them like that's an interesting point of view.
Yeah,
But that's
exactly.
not my reality.
Exactly. So we absolutely, there's no room for reaction. I mean, this is one of the big thing that people make money with in this reality is drama and trauma. Okay.
Yes.
So I live in Hollywood. Trust me, there's a lot of people in Hollywood who make money with drama and trauma. And I could buy into that and I could say, I have to do drama and trauma, or I could just use it to my advantage, because what I offer is pretty much the opposite of drama and trauma. So allowance, also allowance not only for others, but for yourself too, right? So for instance, I,
Like that,
okay,
yeah.
like we were late. What if we had allowance for that?
Yeah. Yeah, if we allow ourselves to be and not go into wrongness, in the next 10 seconds you can create something else and think, rather than holding on to that energy.
Yes. So, okay, so we talked about allowance, an interesting point of view. We talked about who does this belong to. Minette, do you have another tool that you love?
I was going to say that every 10 seconds. I mean, to me, that's a really great one too. Because
Okay.
I don't know, it freed me up so much from this reality of going into wrongness and thinking, hey, maybe that's something I won't choose the next 10 seconds. I never felt, it keeps me from feeling locked in or locked, or stuck.
Yeah, so actually, the tool that I wanted to give people a little bit before the 10 seconds, we'll add that, is choice. Okay? The idea that we have choice, the idea that choice creates, and the idea that no choice is wrong or right. And like you said, that we can choose every 10 seconds. So, what if you actually chose your life instead of being in reaction to the weather, the time, other people, the bank account, the job, whatever it is you are reacting to? What if instead you chose your life? Okay. So for me, it was such a difficult concept when I first started Access Consciousness. Choice. I was like, well, we have been told in this reality that you get to choose between this or that, or you get to choose what's right, or you get to choose what's correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, none of these are choices, they're actually decisions. And in Old English, decision comes from decidere, which means to die. So basically, when you make a decision, you look at which option you have to die. Isn't that cool? So instead of dying, what if we chose? A choice is not between this and that. A choice is, my favorite way of describing it is an embodiment. So there's an energy that's available. there's the energy of joy, there's the energy of creation, there's the energy of playfulness, there's the energy of healing. There's an energy that's available. By choosing that, I be that energy. So I be joy, I be healing, I be playfulness, I be whatever it is that I choose to be. So I be it. Being includes doing. It includes everything you can think about. Being is like the overseeing thing, right? So I am being that energy through my choice. And when people don't see things happen in their life, so let's say, they're creating a business and they're not seeing their business expand, it's simply a choice. Okay, what are you choosing that if you chose different would create another reality? Okay. Shelli's here! Woo! She made it!
Hello.
Hi, Shelli! How are you?
I just ran about 1,000 questions, but I'm here.
Yay! Awesome, awesome. Shelli, do you want to just say quickly hi and who you are and anything you want to share?
Yes. So hi, my name is Shelli Speaks. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. I met Sophie. She was my first bars teacher, and Minette was my second bars teacher. So they have been awesome contributions to my life. I'm a prosperity coach, a business mentor, and my website is moneyflowprosperity.com. And I love, 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 love all the Access Consciousness tools. They just helped me 5 minutes ago get on my webinar. And I'm excited to contribute to gifting you ways to change your life with ease and grace. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your patience too.
Well, thank you for being here. And what I did is I asked Minette what her favorite tools were. And so far we have shared who does this belong to. We have shared, what else did we share? Oh, interesting point of view, allowance. And we were talking about choice, right? Okay, choosing in 10 seconds. Okay, so we're on the third one. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I was saying that choice is really how we start having anything that we want to have beyond beyond thought, beyond feeling, beyond emotions, and choice supersedes clearings. Shelli, I'm going to mute you because there's an echo. Let's see.
I got it.
Mute yourself when you're not talking. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So, okay, so choice supersedes everything. In Access Consciousness, we use a lot of clearings, and clearings are done to kind of blast limitations, blast decisions that beliefs that we are holding on to because we heard it so many times, or because at some point it really served us well. So we have kind of bought it, adopted it, or there's an energy with it. So we use the clearing statement to blast this out of, of existence, and the energy just like wipes it all out. Well, choice actually supersedes clearing. So when you're choosing, because when you choose you being that energy, you can do as many clearings as you want, but it's no longer required. So if you really like to create beyond this reality, choose. And sometimes Gary will say, when somebody says, well, what do I do to change this? He'll say, just choose. If you choose, everything will change. Everything will line up with what you're choosing. Okay? So a choice is never wrong nor right. So there's not a right or wrong choice. And if a choice does not work for you, because choice will create awareness. So you make a choice. Oh, okay, that created that. Is that what I like? No, okay, cool. Then you can make a different choice. Every 10 seconds, you can make a different choice. You can make the same choice, and you can make more than one choice. But you can actually change your choice every 10 seconds, right? I don't know about you, but that to me is pretty awesome.
Yes.
So let's say, for instance, that you chose, well, okay, so Shelly works with people around prosperity. So let's say that you choose to not have prosperity. So for, X amount of years, you have seen everybody struggle around you, and you chose to struggle. What I mean by that is that you made choices that created you to struggle. Okay. So, okay, even if you've made that choice for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, hey, guess what? You can change that choice and you can choose completely different right now. Isn't that cool?
Yes. How's it getting better than that?
How does it? So, uh, I feel like this is a really big concept, and I can sense that people are wondering what I'm talking about. But I'm not seeing questions.
Let me just jump in there for a
Go
second.
ahead.
So it's like, I think people have a belief, and maybe, I don't know if you're doing clearings or not, but I really feel like people have a belief that they don't have a choice. They're like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to choose this. And I think it's so embedded in their being that when you say choice, I don't even think, people, it takes a long time sometimes when I'm working with clients for them to understand what that energy is. So maybe you could help them with that.
Okay, so thank you for saying that. To understand something means that you have to stand under. So you may have heard since I started the Google Hangout, I talk a lot about energy. Thinking is actually does not create much, because when you think, you have to process everything from the mind, from what you already know, what you've already experienced, or what people have told you. So you cannot create anything new when you're thinking. So if you try to make a choice from your thoughts, from understanding it, then it's only going to lead to something very similar. It may look different, but it will be pretty much the same energy. And also, before you came in, Shelly, I was saying that a lot of people have been taught to choose between two things, or have been taught to choose the right or the wrong thing, or the correct thing. That's not a choice, that's a decision. And decision actually means to choose how you die. It's related to death. So a decision is not going to create anything new. Okay. Now, what I'm perceiving, thank you, because now I get it. What people are wondering about is whether you choose everything in your life, and why would you choose something that does not work for you? So the why does not really matter. Like, why we chose this, it doesn't really matter. The fact that you now are like, okay, that's not working, what else is possible? The fact that now you're being in the question, and that's one of the tools that I wanted to share. The fact that now you're questioning that maybe something else is possible, and you're wondering what it is, that's starting to present to you different possibilities that you can now choose. Gosh, I'm so ADD, I totally got distracted. Okay, let's talk about questions. Maybe that my train of thought will come back. So the basic tool to create beyond this reality is to ask a question. We have been taught to go to conclusion, right? So my kids are in school. They've been taught to know the answer. They're being taught to know the right answer, to look for the answer, to figure out the answer. So that's actually a answer. That's only a possibility. It's not an infinite number of possibilities. It does not open up to anything. So the basic tool that I like, if you get nothing out of this Google Hangout, if you get this, that'd be awesome. Basic tool is this: ask questions. When you ask a question, you stop functioning from this polarity, you stop functioning from this reality that there is a right way, that there is one way. We talked about the authorities before. So the authorities, like doctors, lawyers, cops, all of that, they have an answer for you. They have a conclusion for you. The fact that Shelly was not on the Google Hangout, we could go to the conclusion that she was not part of it. Now, because I was aware that she was going to be in it, she was part of it regardless if we saw her face or not. And all of you who have registered for this Google Hangout, and this is why, to me, registration is such a big step in anything you choose as far as education is concerned. Once you start registering, you're in the class. Once you start registering, your energy is contributing to this Google Hangout, to anything that you do. If you don't register, that's when we can't pick up on your energy and we can't contribute to you. So asking a question is allowing all of this to occur. It's allowing you to be part of a much bigger universe that wants so much more for you than you can ever conceive. It's unbelievable. A universe that has your back. That's when you can start tapping into that power. And when you ask a question and you see a possibility, first of all, it's not a possibility, it's an infinite number of possibilities, then you have a choice. Woo! Came around.
And such an energy shift as soon as you make the choice to start asking the questions, the energy completely shifts. You invite in the energy of those infinite possibilities, you know? So if you feel stuck when it comes to prosperity or any issue you're having, you know, universe, what would it take for me to have more prosperity and abundance today? And we're not looking for an answer or a conclusion or judgment. We're just opening it up to the possibilities the universe could show us and bringing us that energy.
Yes. And so if you don't mind, ladies, I'm going to change a little bit this question.
I just wanted to add one thing about asking questions. So, you know, I had trouble getting on a webinar, and I could have gone to conclusion, oh, you know, I'm not supposed to be there. But I don't think like that at all. I just said, okay, you know, show me how to do this webinar, and through a series of questions, and I asked for it to come easily. You know, it took a few minutes, but here I am. But that was just me staying open to the possibility and not going to the conclusion that this just doesn't work. So
exactly.
Great, so much more from there. Yeah.
All right, so okay, I'm going to show you what abundance is, and I'm totally stealing this from Dr. Dane here, so you can tell him I stole this, but I'm going to show you what abundance is. Are you ready?
We're ready.
Ready for abundance?
Abundance.
Bring it.
Okay. That's abundance.
You don't do a dance.
It's abundance dance, okay? Okay. Okay. I don't know about you, but for me, when I said the words abundance and prosperity, there's no energy behind it, because so many people are not willing to ask for actually what they want. So instead they use those words that they've heard other people use. But I would actually ask, would you be willing to ask, hey, what would it take for me to receive money today? Like money, cash, moolah, okay? It can come in any shape or form.
Ask for more, like be comfortable asking for more.
Okay, so hold that thought, Shelli, for a second, because I want more of everything, but I see that when people are not willing to actually ask, okay, I want more sex, I want more money, I want more clients, I want more vacations, I want more adventure, I want more technology, I want more ease, I want a more beautiful car. Like, when they're not willing to ask for it, that doesn't mean that they've decided how it's going to show up, okay? But when they're not willing to ask for what they actually want, it cannot show up. It will show up in ways so where, like, it will feel great because they'll be tapped into the possibility, but to actually create something, you've got to ask for it. And it's ask and you shall receive. It's not make a statement and you shall receive. So it's not like, I'm going to get $1 million. It's, hey, I wonder, what energy do I have to be today to receive $1 million? Okay? That to me is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, so like, prosperity, abundance are absolutely wonderful energies, and I think that it's already asking for something different when you actually ask for prosperity and abundance. And I'm also encouraging everyone to really look at what they're not willing to ask for, that they actually would like to ask for. So for instance, I wanted to work from home, or I wanted to work, I didn't want to have to go to an office every single day. I wanted to have a home that I loved. I just wanted, I wanted to change the world too, because I'm a big Sagittarius and I like to change the world. And I wanted to do it my way. I didn't want anybody to tell me how I was going to change the world, because I just watched a beautiful UNICEF video, and it really encouraged people to donate and all of that. And at the same time, it's like, okay, so these people have already decided what changing the world looks like, and they want me to contribute to what they've decided. And I probably will contribute to what they've decided, because I support it. Oops. But I also like, I like to change the world by making people laugh. I like to change the world by doing a pocket pod. So let's do a pocket pod. So anybody who's never heard what I'm about to say, it's called the clearing statement. And if you want more information is at the clearing statement.
What, baby?
Where are you at?
I'm at home on a live Google Hangout.
Hey, Minette, can you?
Okay, well, I was just saying I'm heading home if you want anything.
Okay.
Where are you going?
I'm thinking either Carl's Jr. or...
Okay.
Hey, Minette, can you mute your line for a second?
That was awesome. Okay. We muted you so that we didn't have to hear the lunch menu. Hey, Minette, do this when I can unmute you, okay? Okay. I can now? Okay, let's try to unmute her. Oh, she has to do it. That's interesting. Okay. So, Minette, try to unmute yourself, because I don't think I can actually. Yeah, good work. Okay, awesome. All right. So where were we? Oh, Pocket Pod. So, clearing statement, theclearingstatement.com. Okay. So, what would you? Okay. Everywhere that you guys have decided, you have to understand how this reality functions in order to change it. Would you please uncreate and destroy all of it times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, online, sports, shorts, and beyond. Okay, so everywhere that you are making this reality wrong, would you please uncreate and destroy all of that times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, online, sports, shorts, and beyond. So we talked about allowance earlier today, and in order to change anything, you have to have allowance for all of it. So everywhere that you've decided that, taxes are wrong, or the government is wrong, or all of that, like that's actually not working. It will never work for you if you already decided that that's wrong. What if you actually could use taxes to your advantage? So, I look at my kids are in school and I don't pay for it, or there's beautiful parks down the street and it's maintained for me. All of that, right? So once you start looking at that, then the universe will start delivering more of those possibilities. That's actually prosperity, isn't it, Shelli?
Absolutely. And, when I use the words prosperity and abundance, for me, it's like, you said those words don't always feel expansive, but it's like, show me what that really means. And that is a great example of what that really means, when you reference taxes. It's like, we have this perception of what it means, what we've been told, but it's like, okay, universe, show me what that actually means in my reality, in my life, and that's the fun part.
Yeah, I love the energy of that too.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a great tool too, is to ask the universe to show me what something looks like. So for me, like there's so many energies that I like to have, right? I'd like to have more fun and adventure. However, I have to tell you, I'm I wasn't sure what fun and adventure looked like for me. So I said, "Hey, universe, show me what fun and adventure looks like." And I'm going to Canada to teach a class this weekend, and my host, they heard that I do stand-up comedy, so they're taking me to a comedy club on Thursday to do an open mic and do some stand-up. Now that to me is fun and adventure, right? So, or like another great question is, universe, show me something beautiful today. And I know,
I love that one.
yeah, it's a really cool one. And you guys, I hope you realize that when you're asking this, you're already being beyond this reality. This reality does not say we can ask the universe to deliver anything. But when you ask the universe, show me, deliver, hey, where should I go? What should I do? Okay, that's already way beyond anything that we have been taught is possible,
Mm-hmm.
including with bodies. My body's like, something's going on. So I don't know how many of you, okay, Access Consciousness includes the body, and the first class that we facilitate is called the bars, and it's on the head. It's 32 points on the head that when gently touched, erase all thoughts, feelings, emotions that no longer serve you, right?
Yes. I just had my bars run this morning.
I know my bars, they're like screaming at me right now. So
Just feels beyond, like it's better than anything. About it. I call it emptying the garbage.
yes, emptying the garbage, deleting the old files. I mean, all of that, right? That's the bars. Now, so the body is included. And with the bars, why does it work so well is because the body has locked in the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and you may have done so much work on yourself, like, you know, metaphysical work, intellectual work, psychological work, all of that. You may have done all this work, but if it keeps repeating, if it keeps being there in some shape, the body has locked it in. So that's why we have the bars, to unlock it from the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Creates so much ease.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So when we want to create beyond this reality, a lot of times people feel so they tend to go to their body to feel things. You realize that you have, I don't know how old you are, but like I'm 42, so for 40 years until I started Access, I was trained in drama, trauma, good, bad, right, wrong. My body went along with that. So for the last 2 years, I've been telling my body, oh, by the way, we're free of that now. It's going to look very different. So if you make those sensations valid and solid, then you can only create what you've created so far. So you have to also retrain the body and let the body know something else is possible, more space is possible, right?
Yes.
It's so funny to me as a woman. There's an experience that we have as a woman, and I think actually the two of you have had that experience, and it's childbirth. And if you look at a woman's body, and then you look that we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little babies in our bodies that will grow and then come out. I mean, what in the world? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I remember, I was like, how did that happen? That's also beyond this reality, but that's a capacity that we've accepted, right? Like everybody's like, oh, okay, well, that's the miracle of life or whatever. What what if everything was a miracle, you know? And what
Yeah.
other miracles are we capable of that we're not acknowledging? I picked the picture that I picked for the Google Hangout with the woman floating because I like the dress. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize she was actually floating until I posted it. And then I was like, oh, she's floating. Like that to me is, of course, she's floating. Don't we all float? Like that was kind of obvious.
Yeah, I think we open ourselves up when we start choosing to just magic, even, you know, magic and wonder. I like that one. I tell the universe, show me some magic and wonder today.
Oh, that's awesome. And what did the universe show you today?
Oh, today, I had a client that just had an amazing breakthrough after some body processes, but
Yeah.
I didn't. She didn't realize it was possible. I didn't. I know every time there's different processes with different questions being asked, it opens up this new reality for them and for me, and this new space of contribution, the energy of contribution.
Yeah.
Magical.
I had time just being, you know, that construct called time, but it was just working and flowing with me. You know, I had all these things to do, and I started to go to, I don't have enough, and then I was like, wait a minute, what else is possible here? And time would expand and, you know, do this and do that, and everything was just flowing, and, you know, a minute felt like 30 minutes, and it was great. It was awesome. So time has been playful.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, time is another big construct that people use to stop themselves and to stop creating beyond this reality. But what if time was an illusion? I mean, actually, most people that work in our field will know intellectually that time is an illusion, and yet, you know, we stress out because we don't have enough time. So I was asking Gary Douglas this question one day in class. I said, Gary, can you help me? Because I have added so much into my life. I feel like I don't have the time anymore to do everything. And he said to me, he asked me, is it that you don't have the time, or is it that now you are aware how much you could be doing, and that there will always be more that you can be doing and choose? And I got it, that it had nothing to do with time. It was all the perception that, oh my gosh, there's so much more I can be, so much more I can do and have and choose that I haven't chosen yet. So I was misapplying and misidentifying not enough time, or the other one, wanting more as not enough time, right?
Yes.
We know that one. We all know that one. What if there was, so time, so if you look at this reality, is matter real?
No.
No. Is time real?
No.
Is energy real?
Yeah.
And is space real? Yes.
Yes.
Space is real, time isn't. So you can cover the same space in a less amount of time. It's not that you're shortening the space, it's you're actually going there faster. And then the last piece, which is the building block of this reality, is consciousness. Consciousness is the prima materia, the building block of this reality. That's what we create this reality with. It's not matter, it's not time, it's consciousness. So once we realize that you know, with consciousness we can create anything, then we just got to do, hey, consciousness, what are we going to create today, huh? What else is possible? I am really excited because I'm going to be with you ladies in a few days in the exciting town of Las Vegas. And, and a few people could very well say, where's consciousness in Las Vegas? Well, consciousness is everywhere. Consciousness includes everything, including gambling. including strippers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Everything.
Everything is included in consciousness. That's why we're going to Las Vegas, baby.
Woo!
Oh, there's such an amazing, amazing energy for me in Las Vegas. I used to work in Las Vegas, and it's just unbelievable what is possible there. I mean, I was telling Shelli the other day, it's like somebody decided to build a town in the middle of the desert. And look what happened. A pretty big town with a lot of
Yeah.
things going on, right?
Every
Oh,
energy. Talk about possibilities.
Yes, 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 yes. So we're going to be in Las Vegas starting actually in about 8 days, May 21st, for 5 days of change. And I would like to add one more thing to our conversation today about this. So there's no right or wrong choice, right? But unless you choose, does not occur. And like I said earlier, the choice is like the embodiment. So you basically take it in, you register, you start planning ahead that you're going to be somewhere, that you're going to do something. That's choosing something. Because I have seen a lot of people say, I am choosing to go to class, and then they don't go to class, okay? Or I'm choosing this vacation, but then they never make that vacation happen. Or I'm choosing to have my own business, but then their own business never happens. So choosing means you're being it, you're having it, you're doing it. If you're not choosing it. It's not wrong to not choose something. When you choose something, like you get awarenesses. Choice creates awareness. So you get awarenesses of what's required. So for instance, if you were to choose to come to Las Vegas, you'll get the awareness. Oh, I need to either, if you don't live in Las Vegas, I need a place to stay. I need a mean to get there. That's an awareness. And if you say I'm choosing to be there, and poof, there's an energy that comes. How am I going to pay for it? Great, that's a great question. How am I going to pay for it? That's a fantastic question. Don't make yourself wrong, and don't go to the conclusion that either you don't have the time or the money. What if you ask questions and see what you can create? I chose to go to my first foundation level 1, and I had no idea how I was going to pay for it. But I said, I'm going to go there. I'm just going to register, choose, and go there. And about 2 days before foundation level 1, the money did not show up, so I was going to pay for it with credit cards. But my husband was like, at the time, my husband said, no way, you're not using credit cards to pay for this. So now I had less than 48 hours to come up with a new way to pay for it. But I kept choosing it. I was like, you know what? I'm being there. I'm going to be there no matter what. Guess what? Within 24 hours, the mail came. I got an envelope. And in the envelope was a bank statement of a bank account that I totally did not know I had. It was a bank account that my old job had opened for me. It was like one of those savings kind of things because of the job. And I did not even know I had it. And in that bank account was the exact amount of money that I needed for the class. So it showed up because I kept asking, okay, well, what is it going to take for me to pay for this? What is it going to take for me? And I had planned my schedule. I was still going to be there. I registered and I was going to go, and it showed up. So what else is possible that you haven't considered yet? Okay. And that's the same thing with time. Okay, I don't have the time because I have kids or because this or that. Okay, first of all, if you guys have kids up until 15 come for free to Access Consciousness classes. 15 and under 18, 15, 16, 17, they pay half price, and 18 they pay full. Oh no, 16, 17, 18 half price, and 19 and above full price. So if you have kids, hey, what if the kids came? I have kids. My kids love Access classes. It's awesome, right? So all kind of things like that. Every time I hear people say yes, but, when you say but, you erased every possibility that was before that. So what about yes and? Yes and.
Yes, and I'll have that.
Say that again?
I said yes, and I'll have that.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys have anything
Yeah,
else would you like to
yes.
contribute?
I let the universe know, hey, I'm choosing this. Like, I'm choosing this, so you got to show up for me.
Yes. And also, I'm choosing this. What is it going to take? What is it going to take? Always more questions. More questions. More questions. Yeah?
Yes.
Anything else you guys want to share?
I'm excited about the class. There's so many more tools for people to create with.
Yeah. Oh, something that I'm going to give you a little taster of the new things that just showed up. And it's, if you've ever thought, I'm doing this because, or I'm not going to do this because, the because is the problem. So the fact that you have associated two things and you have put together a logical connection, it's called causal. It's a cause, right? A cause and effect. Okay, that's a good old concept. We were taught cause and effect. What if that was not real? And what if now was the time to completely destroy and create everywhere that you butt into cause and effect? Guess what? That's the new material in foundation level 1. We're completely gone. No more cause and effect. I don't know about you, but that to me was like, yes.
All light and expansive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are interested in any of this, go ahead and join us. To find out the more information, you can go to createwithsophie.com. This will give you a list of all the classes that I have coming up, and you'll see foundation level 1 bars in Las Vegas. You can click on that. And also you can email me at Sophie, S-O-P-H-I-E, Mihalko, M-I-H-A-L-K-O, @gmail.com. And it will probably be in the email you'll receive after this Google Hangout. If you'd like to reach Minette, how do people reach you?
You can reach me on my website, www.internalenergies, or my Facebook. And I have the event listed on there also if you want to register through my webpage. Any of you in Vegas, come and play. It's Minette, Internal Energist.
Okay. And Shelli, go ahead and remind us, how can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Shelli Speaks, SHELLISPEAKS, or my website, moneyflowprosperity.com. Or send me an email, Shelli@moneyflowprosperity.com.
Okay, so if you heard the dog instead of Shelli, it's Money Flow. Is that what is it?
Prosperity.com. That's my website.
Moneyprosperity.com. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for coming along, participating. Thank you, ladies, for being part of this. And the replay will be sent out to everybody. So come and play. Join us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.